and cross live to our correspondent, Shreya Banerjee. She joined us now from the Kashmiri city of Srinagar. Tell us, first of all, more about what we know that's going on the border at the moment.
So the Air Force pilot, Abhinandan Varthaman, is going to be handed over to, well, he's already been handed over to Indian officials in Pakistan, and they're now taking him to the border to hand him over to the border security force. The handing over will take place at Wagah, which is the primary land crossing between India and Pakistan. As you said there, the convoy is making its way over to Wagah as we speak. The pilot there'll be his parents will be at the border. The Air Force officials will be at the border as well. And thousands of Indians have also gathered there to give this pilot a hero's welcome. It was only yesterday that Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan extended the olive branch by saying he will release the Indian pilot in Pakistani custody as a gesture of peace. But nobody was expecting this to happen so soon, as you mentioned there. He was captured on Wednesday, and we were expecting this to go on for much longer, the negotiations between the two sides. So this is very welcome news. The U.S. Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, had been mediating between India and Pakistan, but it's unclear whether he had any role in brokering the deal of the release of the pilot. Indians had called for his release immediately and said that he be treated humanely while in custody. But they had said that they would not allow this pilot to be used as a bargaining chip between the two countries. So the Indians are seeing it as a win for them. Amit Shah, who is the chief of the BJP, the party in power, said earlier today that this is a big diplomatic victory. Indian media have been covering it also in similar terms, saying that India did not buckle and that it was Pakistan who had to make the first move and hand over the pilot. So there's a lot of celebration on the ground on the Indian side today.
And Shreya, as we keep looking at those live images, waiting for that handover to take place, tell us, is this likely to de-escalate tensions where you are in Kashmir?
Well, I mean, the confrontation between the two sides seems to be cooling off just a tad, although Indian officials have refused to clearly say that whether this will help calm things down. Pakistan is hoping that the release of the pilot will bring India to the table to begin some sort of a dialogue. But India says that they're expecting more. An official told us yesterday that just the release of the pilot is not enough, and that Indian officials want verifiable and credible action from the Pakistanis on terrorist groups operating on Pakistani soil. And the Indian defense officials also held a news conference yesterday and saying that they were happy about the release of the pilot as well, but refused to say whether this would lead to a de-escalation of tensions. Instead, they say they would remain strong in the face of any further Pakistani provocation. As for in Kashmir, in Srinagar, things have been quite calm because there's been a citywide and region-wide shutdown that was called by separatists in large parts of Indian-administered Kashmir. And as you mentioned earlier, there has been widespread shelling on the border, on the LOC that we say, the line of control, which is a de facto border between India and Pakistan. A couple of 100 kilometers from where we are in Srinagar, Indian and Pakistani forces continued to exchange fire yesterday, and it's moved to another region today. So Pakistan and India are both saying the other is responsible for the initiation of hostilities. Pakistan said yesterday that four civilians had died on their side. India confirmed the death of one civilian. There are then, like I said before, there are reports still coming in of further shelling in an area called Uri. We are hearing from folks in Srinagar that people living along the line of control in villages there are moving. They're moving to safer places to avoid getting caught up in this increased shelling. India is said to be constructing about 14,000 bunkers so that families can stay near their homes instead of having to evacuate. So while there is some cooling down of confrontation between India and Pakistan, the tensions still remain on the ground on the border in Kashmir.
All right, Sriya, for now, thank you very much indeed. We'll be sure to check back in with you as we wait